Essa Ricker and Kelsey Webster, both 15, and Kelsey's little sister, Savannah, waved at a westbound train crew and squeezed in for a selfie as it rolled through Utah's scenic Spanish Fork Canyon in October 2011. The girls had been taking photos when they were hit at 6:40 p.m. on a Saturday evening, and apparently they knew one train was coming but didn't realize there was another coming from the opposite direction. Utah's County Sheriff, Sergeant Spencer Cannon, said the teenagers waved to the engineers of the Utah Railway train as its lead engine passed by. Then, the Union Pacific train came from the opposite direction. Mr. Cannon said the gap between the two passing trains was roughly 3 to 4 feet and that the resulting turbulence was strong enough to buffet the girls. Moments before the accident, one of the girls had posted, "Standing right by a train, aha, this is awesome," posted Savannah on Facebook as the train's steel wheels banged along the track's steel rail. The excitement in the trio's eyes matched their big smiles as the train fanned their blonde hair in the wind while they posed for the selfie, completely unaware of the approaching train coming from the other direction. The train's headlights were visible on the top right side of the photo. They were in their own little world, recalled John Anderson, the train conductor inside of the eastbound Union Pacific train locomotive. Engineer Michael Anderson, having no relation to John, blasted the train horn to get the girls' attention. No response, not even a flinch from the girls. Trains traveling at 55 miles per hour can take more than a mile to come to a complete stop after the emergency brakes are applied. A rush of panic, confusion, and fear filled the locomotive as the train raced toward the girls at approximately 39 miles per hour. "We watched in horror as we got closer," said John, recalling how both he and Michael yelled as if it might stop what they knew was about to happen. "We saw them for about 12 seconds until they disappeared from our sight, and the train continued moving forward," said John. John raced back when the train finally stopped, about a quarter mile down the track. The first girl he saw had no pulse, and it was clear that the second girl was no longer alive. John heard 13-year-old Savannah near the railroad crossing. She was hurt and agitated, but alive. "I told her everything would be okay, and she relaxed a little," said John, who held Savannah's hand until the paramedics arrived. "I hoped she would make it, and for some reason, I really thought she would," said John. Essa and Kelsey were killed in the accident, while Savannah was reported to be screaming when the emergency services arrived at the scene. She would soon undergo surgery at the Primary Children's Medical Center. Savannah and Kelsey's mother, Jana Webster, wrote in a blog post, "We spoke to the doctors today, and they have informed us that Savvy's brain injuries were too great. Even though they've done everything possible, Savannah will not be able to recover any further. We will keep her on life support until the end of the day, but it's time to say goodbye, for now, to an angel that walked among us." The family would soon begin planning a funeral for both the Webster girls.
Deuces!
Ooh, hey girl.
OMG, sick selfie.
Union Pacific released 2 animated YouTube videos urging people to take selfies away from railroad tracks as part of the safety campaign launched in 2016 of August.
Dude, like, I might go to prison. I might go away for life. I don't know, dude. I'm freaking out right now. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, dude, I know you're not gonna believe me. No one will believe me. I freaking killed somebody.
Tyler Hadley was born on February 16, 1994, in Port St. Lucie, Florida. By all accounts, he had a relatively normal upbringing. He attended high school, had friends, and was by outward appearances an average teenager. However, beneath the surface, something dark was brewing. Tyler had been telling his friends all week that he was going to have a party, but no one believed him. He had never thrown a party before, and Tyler's parents were home. And since they had recently grounded Tyler for drinking and drug use, they weren't about to let their teenage son throw a party. Some friends of his knew this and were incredulous. When Tyler's friends would ask if the party was still on, Tyler would reply saying, "I'm working on it." They assumed that this meant it was off. At 11:25 a.m. on Saturday, July 16th, 2011, Tyler received a Facebook message from his friend Antonio Ramirez. "Tyler, sup bruh? Antonio, chillin', what you doing tonight?" Tyler, "Trying to have a party at my crib?" Antonio, "Your parents ain't home?" Tyler, "Nope, well they're leaving soon." At 11:15 p.m., Tyler posted a message on his Facebook wall. "Party at my crib tonight? Maybe?" No one was convinced by this. But at 8:15 p.m., Tyler posted another message. "Party at my house, hit me up." Still, his friends remained incredulous. Ashley Hayes messaged, "Whoa, what if your parents come home?" Tyler replies, "They won't, trust me." That's because Tyler Hadley had just murdered both his parents. When he posted on Facebook, their bodies were barely cold, and the high schooler wanted to throw a party at the crime scene.
Well, this case shocked many not only because of the crime itself, but because the teenage defendant invited dozens of his friends over to a house party after police say he hid his parents' bodies in a bedroom and then cleaned up the blood.
Before inviting 60 people to his house for a party, Tyler Hadley had calmly killed both his parents. Blake and Mary Jo Hadley had worried about their son for years. They had taken Tyler to a psychiatrist and a substance abuse program for help. Nothing worked. So when Tyler came home drunk one night, Mary Jo took away his car and phone as punishment. Tyler fumed. He told his best friend Michael Mendel that he wanted to hurt his mother. Mendel brushed it off as a statement, as something an angry teenager would say. He never thought Tyler would go through with it. But on July 16th, Tyler made a plan.
I remember looking at myself in the mirror and laughing and just looking at myself. And I remember being like bloody and like had it like just happened. I remember doing that.
First, he took his parents' phones. That way, they couldn't call for help. Then, he took a substance around 5 p.m. Tyler worried that he wouldn't go through his plan sober. Tyler found a hammer in the garage. While Mary Jo sat at the computer, Tyler stared at the back of her head for 5 minutes. Then, he swung the hammer. Mary Jo turned and screamed, "Why?" Blake, hearing the screams, ran into the room. Blake echoed his wife's question. Tyler shouted back, "Why not?" Then Tyler beat his father to death. After slaying his parents, Tyler Hadley dragged their bodies into their bedroom. He cleaned up the crime scene, tossing bloody towels and Clorox wipes onto the bed. When finally, he would invite his friends over for a party.
How's it going, Shane? All right.
Before long, there were 60 kids in the house. Most of them had no idea who Tyler was. They draped themselves over the couches, played beer pong on the dining table, scounged for food in the kitchen cupboards. Cigarettes were extinguished on the rug and gathered in packs out in front, tossing empty cans onto the lawn. Tyler tried to stop the teens from smoking inside, but eventually he relented. Tyler became less concerned about the destruction of his home than with the noise. If the neighbors got alarmed, they might have called the police. Soon, Tyler would explain to party guests that his parents were in Orlando. Then Tyler changed the story about his parents to, "They don't live here, this is my house," he told one party guest.
seen blood. Alright, and after he stepped back, he was like, do you see that? I said, what? He said, do you see that leg? I'm like, what? And I stepped back, and now I'm looking like this. I'm pretty sure I seen like, now I'm freaking out. I was like, why do you have to go? And he was like, Tyler's parents are dead. And I was like, stop playing with me right now. And he was just like, no, I'm not playing.
Dude, like, I might go to prison. I might go away for life. I don't know, dude. I'm freaking out right now. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, dude, I know you're not gonna believe me. No one will believe me. I freaking killed somebody.
I mean, if I look at it enough, I can see signs. I looked on the floor, I could see signs of blood. And that's when I went around back and looked in his parents' bedroom.
Later in the night, Tyler pulled aside his best friend, Michael Mendel. "Mike, I killed my parents," Tyler said. In disbelief, Michael responded, "No, you didn't, Tyler. Shut up. What are you talking about?" Tyler insisted they were dead. "Look at the driveway," he told Michael. "All of the cars are there. My parents aren't in Orlando. I killed my parents." Michael thought it must be a prank, but Tyler led Michael to the master bedroom where there were traces of blood on the door. Tyler unlocked the door and opened it. Michael saw dining room chairs and blood-soaked towels stacked in a huge pile. But at the bottom of the pile, emerging from the debris, laid a thick white leg. Michael didn't leave the party right away. He stayed for another 45 minutes, posing for selfies with Tyler. In one photo, taken with Michael's phone, the two best friends stand in what appears to be the garage. Both the boys wear their brown hair and close crew cuts. Michael's expression is stern and defiant. Tyler raises an orange plastic cup. His mouth is slightly twisted and his eyes are tense. His face is a mixture of despair and horror.
Tyler was nonchalant, listening to music and smoking pot the night police say he killed his parents with a claw hammer and then threw a house party. But then word began leaking out about the bodies locked in the bedroom.
Then Michael left the party and called Crime Stoppers to report the murders.
He told me that the kid got up, and he was like, he told me that, like, the gist of it, that he did something to his parents, and I was like, bro, I don't want to know any details.
Police arrested Tyler for murder. 3 years later, a court sentenced Hadley to life in prison.
I wish I would have known them more as people instead of just mom and dad, you know, like I never really seen them as real people. Because now that I'm around people that are their age, I'm like, damn, you know, maybe I could have, you know, they were probably just like you, know, I could have talked to them about things.
If you made it this far, make sure you subscribe for more.